So I've got another little project here that I've been given to work on. What we've got is a Kohler 10 horsepower, 4-stroke engine. So my neighbour kindly gave me this over the fence. He got it a while back with the hopes of getting it going to run a little saw bench that he's got, but unfortunately it was in a pretty bad condition when he got it. I've had a few bits and pieces taken off it and apart and cleaned out, given it a good clean out and got rid of the grass and the dust and what have you that was through it, so all the cowls and covers have been off. I've had the head off and cleaned out the inside. Main thing that was wrong with it was the carburetor was broken. I've got the carb off at the moment, you see the inlet there. So I've been waiting on parts to turn up for this. The air filter cover was in pretty bad condition. I've panel beated that back and got the big dent out that was in it. It's had something dropped on it at some stage. These are some of the bits that came off. This is the switch, on off switch. It's completely buggered, just waiting on a new one of those to turn up. Some little cooling fins that have broken off from under the top cover there, pieces of aluminium that smashed and snapped off. Yeah, so what I've done is ordered a brand new carburetor for it, which I've got sitting up here on the bench. So this is the old carb. When something had been dropped on it, the casting off the back of the carb attached to the inlet. I can't remember which way around these go, probably something like this. So yeah, two pieces of the casting completely smashed and snapped off it. So I've removed that and ordered this brand new carburetor. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have a go at it. It came with an assortment of gaskets and the linkages and a new little piece of fuel hose. I ordered a new air filter as well, but unfortunately the air filter that came is the wrong size, so I've got to reorder that, get a slightly smaller one. I don't really want to muck around with making new backing plates and a new cover for the new filter that came, so we'll see how we go. Get the carb on at least and see if I can't get it at least running, and then I'll go through the process of stripping it all back down again and repainting it. Needs a new muffler as well. This is just, I'm not sure what's happened, if the muffler's been broken off the end or if that's all they've ever had on it. Never had any drive pulleys or anything like that on it. It's electric start, which is a bonus for me, so I don't have to keep cranking things over by hand to try and get it going. All the wiring I've got pulled out of the back of the cowl. The start button goes up in here with the switch next to it. Rectifier, so we'll check everything. The voltage regulator on here to recharge the battery once it's running, so we'll test all of that out, make sure everything runs and works, and yeah, if it goes, then I'll go through the process of probably stripping it back down, maybe back to bare metal and repainting it. It sort of hasn't really even got a nice patina to it to be worth preserving as it is. The biggest thing with repainting this is going to be replacing the decals and the stickers that are on it. Under here we've got the stickers that with the serial number. They're in pretty bad shape and the model number, so I can get those remade, custom remade stickers with those numbers stamped into them, which is great. Just waiting to hear back from someone overseas about getting those done. Yeah, so I'll throw this carb on and we'll see what happens. Okay, so magically we've got this carb fitted back on here, new one. So yeah, it took a little bit of messing around, bolts in there, had a little bit of a problem with unthreading or putting the new fitting in for the fuel line, so I took the old fitting out of the other one, put that in. Haven't got any hoses on these clamps yet, hopefully they'll seal, but it has have a little pulsing fuel pump, lift pump, so filters down nice and low, lifts up, fills the carb. So I can almost guarantee I'm going to get some leaks out of here for now, but like I said, I'm going to be taking this apart again anyway. Goal for today, I know it's got spark, I've had all of that checked out. It's just to get an initial fire and make sure that I can get this thing running, just to make sure it's viable to carry on. I don't want to put a whole lot of work into cleaning and painting it if it's not going to be a running engine. So yeah, carb's on there. We'll just do a little bit of a test. Got a small container of fuel. I'm going to fill the line through the line. It doesn't have a fuel tank with it. Fill this through the filter, make sure the pump lifts up and fills that bowl for the carb, and then we'll grab a battery and I'll sort of hot wire it. Since I don't have that switch there for starting, we'll do what I did last time and just click a few wires together and push the button and see if it goes. Cool. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, don't crucify me for this, just know that this is all just temporary, and I'm just trying this to make sure and see if I can run this before I put in a whole lot of extra effort to painting. So yeah, filled the fuel line up, used my little container, tipped petrol down through the through the fuel hose. I've been running the pump manually just to prime it up. I loosened the bolt on the bottom of the carb, on the bottom of the bowl there, and fuel came out, so I know I've got fuel up, good amount of fuel into the bowl. Got my battery over here. So because this terminal, or this lead, is missing the terminal clamp off the end, I've just got my battery charger. See, it's not plugged into anything. I'm just using the alligator clip to hold the wire on there. Negatives hooked up. I've got a small piece of wire with alligator clips on either end that I'm going to use across where the switch would be from this wire. So normally there'd be a switch between here to kill it. I'm still waiting on the new one of those to turn up, so I'm just going to alligator clip across that to make the connection, same as sort of hot wiring a car, I guess. And then we'll push the button and give it a few cranks and see what happens. Alrighty, here we go, moment of truth. Let's see what happens. So I've got that connected up, the ignition should be live for spark, and we've just got the push button start. So let's see what we do. Give it some choke, see what happens with the choke closed. Try a bit more fuel pump maybe, I don't know. Maybe I haven't got the bowl full of fuel. Find out. Pour a bit more fuel down that pipe, pump it up a bit more, see what happens. All I want is at least a little bit of a fire up out of it. So just pop the spark plug again and double check the spark, make sure that's alright, otherwise I'm wasting my time. Alrighty, so there's definitely a decent amount of spark there, and I just had a little bit of success. It could just be a fueling issue. I've got to play around with the carb, but I did a little bit of a, like I have with other things, a bit of a squirt of fuel straight in the guts there. And so she'll run, it will spark and fire, it's got good compression, it's doing what it's supposed to. So obviously probably something with the fuel pump, pumping the fuel up into here, or just the way the jets are set on the carb at the moment. So I'll play around with that, a bit of tuning and a bit of messing about, and we'll get back to you. Hopefully it'll get going in the next day or two. So it turns out I don't need a couple of days. All I needed was a couple of minutes and just a bit more fuel and a bit more pumping, and yeah, she's come right and it runs really well. I just had it going. So I'll do the same again. I've just unhooked all my wires just to save the battery and stuff. So yeah, we'll just reconnect our starter again. Get that back on there. Hook up my little hot wire under here. I just got it tucked under here just to keep it away from the casing so I don't short or earth anything out, you know. So yeah, I was running on the choke and it ran really rough, but it actually ran itself out of gas, what was used up in the carb. So what I ended up doing was holding the my fuel container, because it needs a fuel tank on it. Holding my my fuel container, pouring it all down my sleeve. Holding that and pumping at the same time. It was a bit tricky, but yeah, I managed to hold it up and get lots of fuel up, get that carb completely full, the bowl and the carb, and yeah, away she went. So once it does get running with a fuel tank on it, it'll obviously lift the pump will lift the fuel up into the carb by itself. It just pulses off the cam in there, I guess, or off the crank, not sure which one. But yeah, we'll just pump it up, get that carb nice and full again, and then we'll give it another go. But it ran really smooth and nice once I flicked the choke back off and ran it down to idle, so we'll see how it starts this time. Should have plenty of fuel on it now. All the wires are ready and live. Let's give it a go. Maybe we need to choke it. So there we go. Yeah, got it running, got it going. Obviously needs a lot of mucking around and a lot of tuning with the carb, adjusting the governor up and what have you. The ball joint's not even tight on the top of this yet, so because I'm taking it apart I haven't worried about any of that, but we'll get all that clipped in properly at some stage once it's all painted up. But knowing that it runs now, I'll go and grab Greg from next door, the neighbour who donated me this motor, and I'll show him, and he'll be quite rapt that it's going again. And then we'll get into, yeah, maybe tune it and get it running, make sure it is going to run nice and smooth and tuned with the carb and everything first, and then I'll get into stripping it down and cleaning it up and repainting it and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. I guess I might just call this video this for now. It's a real short little good one, but another project coming up if you want to subscribe to the channel and just watch and see how you get on with it. Yeah, cheers.